Welcome to 𝐂𝐓𝐇， we talk about investing, finance, and professional development. As the current time of Wednesday, November 23rd at 9:57 a.m. on Eastern Time, Ethereum closed at $1,164, up about 2.30% so far. On the overall crypto market, a day before Thanksgiving, obviously Thanksgiving is on the 24th of November, and then subsequently Black Friday. Tomorrow is going to be a market close on the equity side, but with respect to crypto, it never closes. It's never off. But with respect to the momentum so far across the spectrum, I would say we're pretty much green across all the markets. Crypto markets up right now. Key coins up 1.5 to 2%. Altcoin are all up in a way, up 5% across the spectrum. And then on the index front, you can see that we're also green. It seems like SPY is at 401 at the moment. It seems like we are still levitating up and away. Still taking off. Seems like we are sustaining well at the resistance level of 395 on the SPY front. And just take a look at the media front. You can see that across the spectrum is relatively good. But something that we are pending on is with respect to the Fed's minutes. And with respect to as we approaching closer and closer to the holiday spirits, after Thanksgiving, and obviously onto the Christmas time frame, the Santa Claus rally should be anticipated going forward. And the Santa Claus rally is basically a euphemism for fund managers try to pump up their returns year end by beefing up their volume and purchasing behavior on specific assets that they have in the holdings. So we will ideally see some bullish momentum as we approach towards the end of the year, around obviously Christmas time period. And if you look at historical charts, what we have seen is around the late November, or in the very, very early beginning of December, after we get the clearance from the FOMC meeting, the CPI report, we should ideally see some elevations and acceleration as well of the overall purchasing behavior and volume across the market, just so they can close the book by year end on the positive notes. It's a very hedge fund asset management behavior, which translates into something that we call Santa Claus rally, which correlates with Santa Claus being on the sled, right? And then on the overall market front, if you look into the just news front, it seems like across the spectrum is relatively mixed bag, nothing really specific. It seems like the FTX news is it is still something that we have to be concerned about. It seems like we might hear more activity going forward, but it's definitely more of a secondary factor nowadays. Now, the next topic of discussion that's really going to be driving the needle from the media front is going to be, obviously the FOMC meeting, the CPI report, the minutes that the Feds will be coming out, providing us their guidance on how have the 75 basis point been working so far. Are we still in the slump? Are we going to see more sell-off? How is Q1, Q2 looking like going forward? Things like that, right? So before we do the technical, let's just take a look at the whales, what they've been doing. So look at ARK Invest. Yesterday was a relatively sell day. Yeah, definitely a sell day. I guess they are hedging for a day, a more of a red day today, but seems like, as of this morning, you see a relatively green day. So probably made a wrong move on their part. And with respect to the BlackRock as well, let's just take a look at what they are doing. It seems like they are relatively a heavy sell day as well, but they did they bought quite a lot more than selling. So it seems like BlackRock is taking more of a neutral approach, but definitely leaning more towards the bullish side of the spectrum. Maybe they know more information than ARK Invest, and it seems like ARK Invest is a clearly selling side of the spectrum in comparisons to BlackRock. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know what the researchers are thinking. But anyways, let's just dive into technical without wasting more time. Respective recording time of 10:02 a.m. on the Eastern time. We are clearly bounced from the 10:50. Right now, we could see that we glide up. We have this levitation. We're gonna head to the next level of 40 out of 70. On a weekly perspective, we are looking to kind of glide down. You can see that we are having this triple heads. I would say quadruple heads. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it seems like we might still see some bearishness if the minutes come out to be negative, and obviously with respect to the FOMC, the CPI report that comes out, also be a macro catalyst that we need to be aware of. Let's say it's leaning more toward the negative side of the spectrum. We might get a big dump, just like a very immediate effect, and then subsequently we will elevate and appreciate from here. Because ultimately the daily, it is still looking quite bullish. You could see that we have been quite extended for quite some time, so we might see like a one big drop, and then we'll elevate back from here. And I can say the same thing for Bitcoin as well. Very similar, right? About to form a golden cross on a daily. And then on a weekly, you could see that we are looking to glide down with 1, 2, 3, I would say more like 3 heads. So seeing lower levels at 15,500 is more likely than keep going down from here. So something to think about, right? And then on lastly, the monthly, the next level of support, if we break the 15,500, would be somewhere around like the 13,500 from there. Okay. And take a look at the stock market. It's relatively green because we are basically anticipating that will be a positive report. And obviously, a lot of the stocks have been quite oversold for quite some time. So it's more of a technical rebound, but also we want to end I guess, the long, before we head on to the long weekend, and on the relatively good notes. And ultimately, it's still going to be driven by the minutes. Ultimately, it's going to be still driven by the inflationary pressure that we have to be understanding. What's the tactical next steps on how the economy is going to be shaking out going forward, and then how the corporation is going to follow through, right? So appreciate you. Have a good day, and I will check you guys on the next one. And I think tomorrow is Thanksgiving. I will still be reporting, but I do have like a breakfast, Thanksgiving breakfast, if you may, to attend. But I appreciate you. Have a good day and take care. Bye.